All right, Meltem, we've got a lot to get through.
What up? Keeping it cash on a Thursday.
Yeah, we had a great warm up before we turned on the recording, so it should be fun. Let's go over real quick for people who don't know just your background,
Sure.
and then we can dig into all of the controversial ideas that I'm sure you're excited to talk about.
I don't think they're controversial. They're just, thoughtful, I hope. But we can debate the merits of that. So look, I don't want to be boring. So math and finance background, started my career in the oil and gas industry during the onshore shale boom, have seen what irrational bubbles look like from the inside of some of the world's largest corporations, focused primarily on oil and gas M&A, oil and gas strategy, and then decided to go, as a consultant, in-house at ExxonMobil, worked for the treasurer of the corporation there and got to sort of see the inner workings of which at the time, the world's largest corporation, which is really interesting. Learned a lot there. Went to business school at MIT, did a lot of work there on kind of the fintech startup wave that started around 2012, 2013, got into the venture space and really just saw so many interesting problems in venture with incentives between investors and entrepreneurs, had been bitten by the Bitcoin bug, and then met Barry Silbert, who'd been working on this idea called Digital Currency Group, joined him in 2015 to build that out, spent 3 years there, took the firm from 20 portfolio companies to 120, built a bunch of great businesses, did a lot of really interesting things, and also was there really for the move from Bitcoin only to enterprise blockchain, then to tokens, and now it's back to blockchains via security tokens. So it's been interesting being a part of that evolution and really being involved in many different parts of the ecosystem. Now what I do is I'm at CoinShares, which is a digital asset management business. I'm really focused on building the next generation of financial products and services for retail investors, institutional investors, and most importantly, the crypto space. We need to start bringing more institutional asset management principles into this industry to really make it credible and an investable asset class. And it needs to be done in a way that is kind of true to the principles of crypto, but also incorporates the last 150 years of knowledge around corporate finance, behavioral finance, incentives, etc.
Absolutely. What originally drew you to Bitcoin? Why Bitcoin?
Yeah, so the original draw to Bitcoin was I needed to send a transaction, and I needed to send it to a market where there was no real banking infrastructure. My family's from Turkey originally, and I looked at a bunch of different options, and one of my friends was like, oh, have you heard of Bitcoin? And so I went on Reddit and I went to r/Bitcoin, and I was like, wow, there's a lot to unpack here. This is wild. It's weird. I had to then get Bitcoin. So I pinged my brother who, he and I grew up playing video games together. He's a programmer and a developer. So he's always kind of on the bleeding edge of these things. And he's like, yeah, localbitcoins.com. So I went on Local Bitcoins and I met someone in a parking lot, and it felt like a drug deal, but it was a Bitcoin deal, which was pretty exciting. And from there, just the more I started learning, the more interested I became. Luckily, in grad school, I had a lot of free time. I was at MIT, where there was a lot of work going on campus with students who were, mining in their dorm rooms. Some students got sued by the state of New Jersey for running an illegal lottery because they were running a Bitcoin faucet. So it was just really fun, really interesting. And then the whole crypto anarchist thing just add an extra layer of interest. I never really thought about the relationship between money, power, politics, and societal structure. And so I think for me, that was really a moment where I started to just become a lot more aware of what was happening in the world, the implications of changing the structure of how money works.